I know I'm not the only one excited for potential Spider-Man 98 over on Disney+. But what exactly is Marvel Studios thinking? Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what the head of streaming had to say about that recent Spider-Man 98 cameo in X-Men 97 and where the studio might move going forward. Now before we do that though, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Well, we keep saying we're entering the new era of Marvel animation. X-Men 97 was a huge hit, and once fans found out they were reviving old shows, well, they had one big request: bring back Spider-Man the animated series. The show ran from 1994 to 1998 and wrapped up with a kind of an open-ended note, leaving many hanging threads. Now, during the finale of X-Men 97, we got a quick glimpse, and one of those hanging threads was Mary Jane Watson, and we saw her with Peter Parker, and they were definitely those versions of the characters. Now, absolutely no one expected X-Men 97 to resolve this decades-old cliffhanger. At least now we do know the hero managed to track her down after she was lost somewhere in the multiverse. But it got fans even more excited about the possibility of a Spider-Man 98 revival on Disney+. Now, recently, during an interview with Screen Rant, Brad Winderbaum, who's the head of TV streaming and animation over at Marvel and really kind of become the go-to guy for information, well, he touched on some of the excitement surrounding that moment and the possibilities of setting the stage for a Spider-Man 98 revival on Disney+. During that interview, he actually said, "It is amazing to see them back on screen together. I wish we could tell the whole adventure with Madam Web and figure out exactly how he did it. Maybe one day, we as fanboys could certainly dream." There is always potential, right? I don't want to close the door on anything, but I think for now, for the foreseeable future, X-Men 97 will own the 90s, and how much we bring in guest stars or tell stories from other Marvel characters from that era is to be determined, but it could be seen through the lens of the X-Men. Now, for me, it sounds like Winderbaum is clearly leaving the door open to the possibility, but they are having so much success with X-Men, I think they don't want to undermine that success. It doesn't mean it's necessarily happening right now, but it does mean with all this fan demand that cameos moving down the road and maybe even some storylines, well, they could definitely happen. We got multiple versions of animated characters that seem to be from some of those other 90s shows, including Iron Man and Daredevil, so I think this is going to be the platform to explore some of those stories, and there's plenty of space to do it. As a matter of fact, Winderbaum in the same conversation said, and I quote, "Well, I think to me X-Men 97 is the windows into the 90s and that universe. We can see how much that window expands over time perhaps, but there's value in focusing on the era because it unlocks you from any other show. You get to explore the universe from this one perspective, which is basically what every episode of What If does to a certain degree. But those one and dones, an anthology, this is actually a universe that gets to exist for multiple seasons, which is one of the things I'm most excited about. Now, I feel like we're going to have to wait and see what the future holds, but we do know multiple seasons of X-Men 97 are planned, and there's for sure going to be more crossovers. We also know Christopher Daniel Barnes, who played Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the series, would absolutely return to the role, and given the history of Spider-Man the animated series and previous crossovers, if you watch the show, you know the X-Men appeared. Well, I think a reunion is definitely possible, and with all this fan excitement, it might happen in season 2. If that lands pretty well, it definitely could lead to a show of its own, but it sounds like right now Spider-Man 98 could definitely live on as a subtitle to the X-Men series, which will be heading up to 1990s. But we're going to have to wait and see.